Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. So, yes, Sarah is right. We have to, we got to do this back work on, and that was my concern. That was the concern with the church looking at this. And now, who knows? Okay. So, along the same line, this is not Gnosticism, uh, his approach, right? Accept your suffering. Accept. No, he's not devaluing the needs of the body. And it's also not deism, which was a popular heresy at his time, that God only creates, but then he goes off and he just lets it do. No, God not only creates, but he sustains that which he creates. He is not a clockmaker. He doesn't wind at the clock and then departs. He sustains it. And without his sustenance of every moment, existence would end. I mean, we would end. Time would end.
Right.
So our exhortation. Sometimes the aspect of God's providence is what we need. Maybe the trials or loss of a job or some other difficulty is frankly what we need as well. I like to tell the story of a woman who lives in the poor section of town. She prayed to the Lord. She just wanted a car. So she had diabetes. She's elderly. Getting around was tough. And please, Lord, give her a car so that it would make her life easier. Perfectly reasonable request to me. She got a car. What happened to her health? She didn't walk as much. Her diabetes got out of control. She's a woman of faith. And some good sense. And she realizes her health is deteriorating. So she gives the car to her grandson who needs it to get to work. And so he's happy. And she's now back on the bus and her blood sugar came down. Right? That the loss and the attainment of stuff isn't in and of itself an indicative, right? She got the car, it was bad for her health. She was wise, but her grandson needed it. And so he's able to provide for himself. Okay.
I think that there's some element here where we just have to understand, like you were saying before, that God is not, we don't worship a God who is absent. We worship a God who is near and who longs to be present to us. And so consequently, and we do believe firmly that he is good and that he's all good, he's all loving, all powerful. We understand that he has a positive will, where he called everything into being, and he has a permissive will that allows us an ability to freely choose him, right? He doesn't make us choose him. But because we have 100% confidence that God is perfect goodness, it's possible to have confidence in abandoning yourself to his providence. And that means that whatever comes your way, it doesn't mean that you become a robot. You discern what God is calling you to in that moment, because whatever it is, however it presents itself to you, there is goodness to be found and to be discerned. So for instance, your friend, right? She thought that what she needed was a car. And so she asked our Lord for it. And when she received that good gift from him, which was good, right? It was a good thing for that car to come. She also found that it came with some consequences that she wasn't able to, that weren't going to be good. And yet, through her discernment, right, and through an abandonment to his providence, which gave her a car, she was able to understand that, oh, that goodness is not for me, but it's for someone else. My goodness was where it was before, but her grandson might never have prayed for that car. And yet her openness to and surrender back to the lifestyle that she had before, which wasn't as easy, right? But which was better. I don't know. I think that that's what we have to be looking at when we're talking about this abandonment to divine providence. It means that no matter what the situation is, we are always a hopeful people, and we're always looking for how is God loving us, and what is the best good that can come from it. So you see that you're not an unactive engaged, like you're not unactively engaged with God's providence. You're actually more engaged because you're always trying to discern God's best will. And I think that there's
That's
some real level of beauty there.
it is, and it isn't like going on neutral. It's
Right.
a true engagement, and uh, you know, over well, Teresa of Avila. I'm studying her and John of the Cross, the Sin of Mount Carmel, and Interior Castle. And this year after year, or moment after moment. So we have saints who are young, and Teresa of Lisieux is young. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a body of time, but John of the Cross and Teresa of Avila had more of that. And you, with this interaction with our blessed Lord, and each moment, and you become a little more insightful. You become a little bit more aware. Are you perfect? No. Up and down the ladder, Jacob's ladder, up and down the mountain, inside and outside the different rooms of the castle within our soul. So different, but it's a movement. It's not this static holding tight. And that lady who is able to recognize God's hand through it out, that she would, that process was born from a soul who had been in conversation with our Lord for some time. That's not a neophyte move, shall we say?
Right. Yeah, and I think that I think there's some element of freedom, really, especially if you understand what your state in life is, and what are you called to. So, for instance, if you were called to be in this monastery, the Visitation Sisters, right? You have a whole host of restrictions, but you have a whole host of freedoms that are not available to, say, a woman whose state in life is to be married and have 10 children, right? I mean, the mother who has 10 children her first obligation is to take care of her children, right? So that element of abandoning herself to divine providence may simply be, like if she doesn't have enough food, to be trusting that our Lord will provide, or if she does have plenty of food but she doesn't have any time to go shopping or whatever, that those needs are going to be met. Like our Lord, when you surrender yourself to him, we can't multiply time, right? We can't make our 24 hours more than 24 hours. No matter what we do, when the clock starts ticking at midnight and it goes around to 11:59, and you don't get to add anything to that. But our Lord, when you're conscientious of your nickels and dimes, right? Our Lord can pull everything together for you. And you see that so beautifully in that story about this woman who, thought she knew what she needed, asked our Lord for it, and then recognized that in that providence, that maybe he wasn't providing for her per se, but definitely her prayers are the ones, her surrender are the ones that brought about that goodness. And God just can't be outdone in generosity, right? Because now they have both and, right? She knows that wasn't the best for herself, and she's now content in the life that she was given. And yet now that love kind of and that prayer life has bloomed, that her grandson also now knows, or her son now knows too, that prayer matters, right? That and he has this car because she was faithful. I think that there's so much beauty there.
There is. It is. There. It just impacts us even more as I listen to you comment it. All right, my friends, take up the book. I wish I could tell you could get Sarah's copy, but I cannot because I tried. I tried. So I was really listening. All right. So the story is, if you know someone on a retreat, give them some of your book money and tell them to buy a book.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah. I'll look
Or
into seeing if there's
or
some way
let's
that I
all
can
be
get it.
persistent widows. You
Yeah.
know, hey, we need some help out here in the United States, just like Australians do. All right, but I know I have some viewers in Australia, so friends, avail yourself of this publishing house. You have a real gem, and
Yeah.
if you have access to it, don't waste your opportunity.
Right.
All right,
Cana House in Tasmania.
yeah. See, act on it. Don't dilly dally. All right then. Till the next time, my friends. Fide Sriracho.